know what it is? Yeah, I'm not even gonna cap to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is just pure bias.
All I remember is no.
He was gonna be my French croissant. Welcome to Wheel It Up, where three black women talk all things Formula One. I'm Simone.
Hi everyone, I'm Shanice. Normally a fan of Ferrari, but this week, I don't know, we'll talk about that in a minute.
I was a fan of Perez, but this week, not this time around. Yeah, I'll let it pass just for 1 week.
And I am still a Lewis Hamilton fan. Just say.
You have good cause this week.
Look,
I do.
We're all Lewis Hamilton fans. Let's just get that clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to get into this mammoth of a Grand Prix that was the Australian Grand Prix because, oh my gosh, was there a lot of stuff happening? Yes, there was.
It's time to take a lap.
Not just only in qualifying where Perez was out in Q1 and Max had pole, and this is the first time he's ever got pole in Australia, but the race itself, oh baby. So this started very excitingly. Now, who got up at 6 a.m. to watch this?
Well, I didn't go to bed till 3 a.m. because
What was you doing?
I was up high, so I had planned to be up at 6 a.m. But from when I saw 3 a.m. on my clock, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to watch it
That
on
was
repeat.
not happening.
Wow.
But I planned.
You dirty stop at 3 a.m. Look, you actually could have just stayed awake another 3 hours.
I was like, do I do that? But I'm so glad I didn't because this
Shanice.
race went on
choose
for
your piece.
ages.
Choose your piece.
This race went on for time. So I'm so glad I didn't.
But you missed an exciting race.
Yeah, I watched it though, just on repeat.
Anita, did you get up
I
at 6
had
a.m.?
no choice. I was meant to go to
Good girl.
France in the morning, and it was the only thing that kept me awake. I woke up at 5, got ready, and then my taxi came, and then I'm just like, do you know what? Let me just put it on, and I'm so happy that I didn't miss it. It kept me awake for the entire time. Like, I needed that.
Yeah, it was.
Like, usually Australia's boring.
It's actually
It's boring.
I was
It
expecting
is.
absolutely nothing from this race. I was
Legit.
thinking this race is going to be so boring, but I'm going to love it
Legit.
anyway.
I mean, it's actually normally the first race of the season. It normally, actually, back in the day, it used to start in Australia. And boy, oh boy, did this race deliver. Shanice, though, I mean, the first lap,
Okay.
the first
I was
lap,
wondering,
Shanice.
why is Simone coming to me here? Oh, of course,
The
Charles.
first lap, your boy Charles Leclerc. He did. I don't even think he made a turn. He literally.
It was actually the third turn. It was actually the third turn. Let me say, so he definitely made two.
Two turns for Charles Leclerc. 2 turns.
Look, I wish you guys could have seen my reaction to Charles out at basically lap
The start.
1, turn 3, because I actually screamed. I went, what's happening to Charles? Charles, what's happening to Charles? I was literally just like, I just couldn't believe. And then also, I had this tiny bit of hope in my mind that he would still be able to continue.
Not gonna lie, I thought he would be able to revive it.
Yeah,
Me too. Me
but he
too.
just
I
spun
thought he
out.
might be able to.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Charles got it. No, you know when you have like 1,000 thoughts a second go through your mind? That's what happened to me. I imagine it also happened to Charles, thinking, shit, it's not even lap 1. This is embarrassing.
Boy, it was not looking good for him. I'm not going to lie. My mind went straight to you, Shanice. I was thinking, wow, when Shanice wakes up to watch this,
I ain't
she's
even
going to
gonna
be
lie.
heartbroken.
Not gonna lie, when I saw it spun out, I came straight to group chat. I was wondering if Shanice was awake.
Yeah, I saw your message in the group chat.
I came
'Cause
straight to the chat.
I was trying to make sure I stayed off social media because I thought,
Oh,
something big's happened
wow.
here. So I was trying to make sure because when you were like, oh, I can't wait for Shanice to see what happened to Charles, I was thinking, oh, wow, did something good happen?
Hell no.
Some good
Hell-
points.
no.
I was thinking, when I saw it, I literally screamed, what's happened to Charles? Charles, I literally screamed in that second. Like, it was a jump moment. Like, I jump started like a car. Like, I freaked out.
Can you imagine thinking something good? What good could have possibly happened?
Did you not
to
read the
Charles?
messages that we were doing back and
Can
forth?
you imagine? You probably thought he went from 6th to 1st or something like
No.
that.
I was thinking, oh, wow, Charles, honestly, yeah, wow.
He has had some real bad luck, that boy. I'm not going to lie. This actually it actually took me back to the start of last season when something always would happen. And I'm just like, Charles, man, come on, boy.
It was sad. Do you know what? And we'll talk a bit more about this like later in the podcast as well with like Carlos Sainz getting a penalty. for hitting Alonso. But I just don't see how Lance couldn't have got a penalty for that. I just didn't think it was fair.
Opening lap, all of them incidents there. Do you know, on the opening laps, they love to just let everything slide. They'd be like, oh, racing incident. Oh,
but that's like somebody was completely out though in the first lap.
I know.
Like, turn 3.
And for context, it was Lance that hit Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Period. If it's not got nothing to do with Alonso, then they don't really care, I guess.
I just don't see how he didn't get a
Alonso or
penalty for that.
Max.
And yet Carlos Sainz got a penalty in a lap that technically didn't even exist.
Hey.
Wow. Well, we'll get into that later.
He hit Alonso.
Listen,
The star boy or the star man.
Fair
That guy's
enough.
a grown man. Anyway, we'll come to it.
big man. Anyway, as the race developed now, we've got Alex Albon out at lap 7. Sorry, guys, I have to skip past all of the other stuff that happened before he was out at lap 7. But yes, Alex Albon was out at lap 7. I felt it for him. I had high hopes. I was like, Alex, you were doing good. You were in the points. He was driving well. And this time he crashed out. And I was like, Alex, babes, he was gunning to be my star boy. I'm not going to lie. Hey, don't push on your lips, Anita.
Man, he was going to do my should have stayed at home.
No, man. I'm so sorry.
I love him.
The real survive and the fake sink. Do you get what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, I'm not saying Alex Albon is fake.
No.
But come on, bro. It was such an unforced error. It was so unforced. Like, come on.
You know what, Alex? I still got love for you.
Like, let's keep it real. The real drivers were driving well and they didn't succumb to that kind of pressure. I don't know what was going through his mind.
I don't know.
You got to think about it, man. He was clearly not thinking straight. He wasn't concentrating.
He wasn't concentrating, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Alex.
No, but do you know what really impressed me out of everything in this race, right? Even though there was so much that happened, it was just the way Lewis and George got off in the start.
Oh, their start was beautiful.
Their start was
beautiful. I actually wrote that in my notes.
It was a Mercedes 1-2.
Let me tell you, the sexiness.
Yeah.
Mercedes.
That brought back some memories,
1-2.
actually.
It did. I was like, look at you, like, at the front.
Yeah, it was
challenging.
nice to see.
Whoa. I ain't heard that in time. Obviously, barring Brazil last year.
Oh, yeah.
Mercedes 1-2 was unheard of in 2022.
Oh, my God.
I'm thinking this has been years.
Yeah.
Years.
I was thinking this was going to be a really, well, I thought it was going to be an interesting race, but not for the reasons it was interesting.
Yeah.
I just thought Mercedes 1-2. Why am I saying fucking 1-2?
Because that's what you really wanted deep down.
That is what I wanted.
That's what you wanted.
That is what I wanted. That is what I wanted. But no, I just thought that actually, like, Mercedes could bring back some good times here.
And did they? Oh boy, they did.
Well, they started to, but you know, what happened to George's car setting on fire?
And it was an engine failure or whatever they deemed it to be.
It crushed all of our dreams and hopes.
I didn't care. I'm sorry, but
I honestly thought we could have 2 Mercedes on a podium here.
Yeah, okay, that would be cute, but I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that bothered.
Do you know what?
I wasn't that bothered.
Oh my God, I was gutted.
I'm not a babe that supports teams. I support the driver. I'm supporting Lewis.
Wow.
And Lewis only. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I
am a
Lewis
big fan of
and Lewis
George.
only.
Yeah. You know I'm always sticking up for George, so...
I don't
True.
care.
Don't get me wrong,
can't
George,
believe you guys aren't as gutted as me about George's car saying
Nah.
Are you doing all the crashes, and yet George's car saying had nothing to do with him.
Dog eat dog well.
I don't care.
I mean, Charles spun out. Some people are crashing.
I felt more sorry for Charles Leclerc than I did for George.
Yep.
Really?
Do you know what it is, right? And this is going to be a little bit, not controversial, but just a little bit, something to think about. Because a lot of people love Lewis Hamilton so much, yeah, seeing George at the front of the pack, yeah, and then him making the calls, it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Do you get? Like, I'm so used to Lewis being at the front, yeah. So when I saw George there in first, and I'm thinking, I wonder how Mercedes is going to play this out. Because if Lewis becomes the faster car, is it going to be a repeat of, what was the race last week? Was it Bahrain?
Saudi.
Is it going to be a repeat of Saudi where George doesn't want to let him through and says,
Yeah.
Oh, but the wind in front has a 5-second penalty.
But I'm hearing all of these things and I'm thinking this is a you problem. It rubbed you up the wrong way. I'm thinking, nah, man,
Oh, my
George is a
Lord.
decent driver.
He's a good driver.
he's a very good
deserves to be
driver.
able to
Good
have these
driver.
opportunities,
Very
these
good
chances,
driver.
and
Yeah.
prove that he can be a number one driver.
He can when Lewis eventually retires.
No, but that you
And
can't
then
just
I will
need to
support
develop
him
new
with all my
talent.
heart.
You can't just be like, oh, because it's the same deal with Max and Perez. Just because Max is number one driver doesn't mean you can't give Perez,
We give Perez prop.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't
Do you
mean.
give him props?
No, I mean like Red Bull. It doesn't mean that Red Bull shouldn't give him these opportunities and let him be the champion he can be.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm not even gonna cap to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is just pure bias. I'm not just
She's like,
talking
I'm
about
being-
it objectively.
I'm being biased.
When it
I
comes
get
to
it.
that Mercedes team, I'm only thinking about Lewis. Yeah, I'm only thinking about Lewis.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is, because Lewis is always going to be my favorite driver. Like, that's just what it is. When it comes to Red Bull, I'm thinking, yeah, give Perez a chance. When it comes to Ferrari, I'm thinking, yeah, give Carlos Sainz a chance. When it comes to Aston Martin, I'm like, yeah, Lance Stroll, do your thing. When it comes to Mercedes,
Lance
Lewis
Stroll.
and Lewis only. God bless you.
And you know what? It's not that I don't want George to do well, because
do want him to
I
do
do
well,
want you to do well. But
for
you know, when
sure.
it comes to race day, and I hear George on the team radio, my
went the wrong
attitude just kind of changes. And I'm
out
like,
of order.
George,
No.
it's not changed.
You
You know,
got out
I'm
of
just like,
order.
Do you know what it is?
Leave
Tanisha?
him, man.
It's like when you're working, yeah, and then a next young thing comes in, brand new to your workplace, but you guys are doing the same job, yeah, and the young thing is calling the shots. Are you not going to look at the young thing and say,
Yeah, but
"Excuse me"?
sometimes you need a fresh perspective, new talent. You need to develop your people. You know, Lewis is only in the position he's in because he's had development. He's had these opportunities. He's had people backing him, supporting him. Now it's time for George to have the same.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know what? Yeah. And
Okay.
I'm sure he has his own fan base there to help him up.
No, I'm
with
sure
that.
he,
Now,
he
George,
does.
I'll be your fan base. I'll be your fan base, George.
He did.
Don't you worry.
But enough about George. Okay, his car set on fire and he was out of the race. But that actually didn't cause a red flag. It was Kevin Magnussen's car. His tire blew up.
Did you see the image of the car?
His tire. I say his tire blew up. His tire caught the wall, and all I saw was Kevin Magnussen with 3 tires. I was like, babe, what is
I
happening
couldn't laugh.
here? What is happening? And so that triggered another red flag.
Yeah.
After the first red flag we had, this was like, whoa, what's happening here?
So when Alex Albon eventually crashed, right? Like he like.
Do you say eventually?
Yeah,
crashed?
yeah, yeah,
Like it was
yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
Come on, come
Alex,
on.
it's all right.
Do you know, I'm
not
not saying Alex is moving like the TV this season, but I'm just saying Alex is.
It's giving Latifi vibes.
It's giving Latifi.
I'm sorry,
it was
but
giving Latifi.
Alex at least gets that car in the points. I'm
don't
sorry.
get me
I'm pretty
Like,
sure he
yeah.
didn't finish last week either.
Boy,
Last race either.
all I'm saying is that it's giving. I'm not saying he is, but it's giving.
You know, and you lot
Latifi.
cussed me out when I was talking about him last race, saying, nah, he's not doing that well.
But do you know what?
this week, I think, has proved my point even more.
He's pushing the car to the extreme limit, and he goes above that limit, and then the car eventually doesn't.
Oh,
back
Alex,
him.
Well, he hit
please
the
redeem
curb this
yourself
time
for these
round.
man, please. Redeem
And,
yourself for these man,
I
please.
like Alex. I like Alex. But anyway, when
Okay,
he
cool.
So he hit the
eventually
curb.
crashed, he hit the curb, right? He crashed out, lost his wing, whatever. And then obviously we've got the safety car coming, right?
Because of the gravel,
Because
and that's
of the
what, and
gravel.
that's a key point, because there were a lot of people thinking, well, why was there a safety car or a red flag for the gravel? But there was actually bits of debris from Alex's car on the track, and
Yeah.
even drivers were saying, and even I'm sure Lewis came on.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ola can check VIR for this, and say like, wow, there's debris on the track.
Yeah,
and obviously
yeah.
it's dangerous because you can get a puncture and whatnot.
I remember that because it just
Exactly.
sounded like Lewis moaning as per usual. He's almost on the radio moaning about something. He was right to, but it just made me laugh. I was like, here's Lewis, here we go.
I'm not sure this podcast is going to contain me and Shanice, you know?
I was complaining. I will keep you to
This is why you're in the middle.
Keep us away. No. But even with that being said, George obviously came in, and I feel like a lot of people were criticizing, saying it wasn't the right call. But in retrospect, at that moment in time, I feel like Mercedes made the right call to bring George in, because George is leading the race. It's a free pit stop, basically.
Yeah.
And if, the red flag didn't come about, George would have definitely had the upper hand, because everybody else would have come in. Like,
Exactly.
That's just what it would have been. But the red flag came conveniently for Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, did it? It did indeed.
It came so
Beautiful.
conveniently.
I was like, now you can change your tyres, Lewis.
Because like Shanice said, he was complaining. He was like, he wasn't sure if this was the right idea.
Yeah, he was like, am I in the right tyres, guys? Like, I don't know about these. And I have noticed of late, Lewis is always questioning the strategy and the tyres. He's like, are you sure these are the right tyres?
He's double guessing.
He's like, are you sure these are the right tyres?
Yeah.
But interestingly, though, George is putting his foot down more and saying what tyres he feels like he needs to be on a lot in the strategy. He's got a big hand in these strategies now.
And that's what's rubbing me the wrong way.
He's always questioning.
I'm used to Valtteri. This is rubbing me the wrong way. No, but seriously, I do think that they made the right call with that. And a lot of people are saying, no, they didn't. It was malicious or whatever. People just need to get a bloody grip. They need to get a grip. It wasn't any intent. And you know what's so crazy? When the race started back up, Lewis and Max Verstappen, again, we expected elbows out. We expected something.
We knew.
Max just went.
Max was gone.
Yeah.
Like, so far gone. No one saw him. Like, no one saw this
I
bunny.
saw the replay, right, of just Lewis's onboard cam.
There's nothing.
Max was gone within like 3 turns.
Yeah.
You could not see Max anymore.
Like, no one saw Max until he crossed the line again. Like, where was you?
Bro.
He was gone. Now, obviously, we saw him again, but it was like, oh my gosh.
We saw him again when he made a mistake.
Yeah, when he locked up and he spun into the grass.
And then he still redeemed an 11-second lead. I was just like, what the hell is that car?
It could have gone so wrong, but
I was like, could you not have just gone into the wall?
And do you know what? Bono on the radio to Lewis, Lewis was like, he doesn't know if he can hold Max up. Bono was like, just do the best you can.
yeah.
And then Lewis was like, he's right behind me already. Yeah. And then he just goes, and then Bono's like, yeah, so Alonso P3.
I felt so bad for them in that moment. It's kind of just like, well, you know, just do. It's kind of like when your kid's about to like take an exam or something, you know they're going to fail, but you're trying to encourage them anyway.
Just like, do the best you can, honey. It's fine.
Don't worry.
Oh, you can't do maths? Yeah, no, it's fine. Just do the best you can. Do the best you can.
So we were on lap 50, 53, 52. Kevin Magnussen, as we said, clips his tyre blows out, he's on 3 wheels like a freewheeler, and we're just like, what's happening here?
Did you see the clip of the car just spinning and through? Oh my God, it was so... I didn't want to laugh, but I was laughing like, what's happened to the car? What's going on with the car?
No, I was like, oh, poor babes. So then we had another red flag. So this is 2 red flags, guys. 2 red flags at this point that we've got. And yeah, people have to come in again. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I actually do like having a red flag just so I can, get a snack, get a cup of tea, get a drink, go toilet, whatever. I don't mind a red flag. Yes, I know it's kind of mad, but I actually don't mind a red flag, especially when it benefits your driver as well. Like if your driver's in a good position, a red flag maybe can, and you got to restart the race, can also be a good thing. So the cars have to restart. And one thing I was trying to remember was that when it was the restart, this might have been on for the Alex Albon one, and Lewis was behind the safety car, and then Max was like, hold on, Lewis is not within 10 car lengths of the safety car. Like he was basically trying to say that Lewis was too far back. And so Max was like on the radio saying, yo, go and check this, go and check that my man is in the right position, that is he within the...
Can I just ask you, why is it that Max only complains when it comes to Lewis?
Because he has
But
issues.
also, do you really need to complain?
Hey, listen, I've relinquished.
Ask your bedroom.
I've relinquished
when actually
2021.
They checked, and Lewis was actually right. He was within the car lengths he has, and because he was the race leader, he can dictate the car, not the car lengths, but he can dictate like how fast he goes. And so that literally shut Max up.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Normally, I'm not about shutting up too much, but I was glad. I was like, man, what are you complaining for? Chill. Oh, but it's petty. It's Red Bull being petty. And we know that they're petty.
After that, right, we get another red flag. Like another one. So we're on 3 red flags.
Which is the first time this has ever happened in Formula One history.
I was like,
yeah.
The first time we've got 3 red flags in Formula One history.
Yeah.
I can think of so many bozo races in my head. I'm thinking, this is the first time.
We have witnessed
That's
history.
crazy.
I even Googled this before because I was looking at like how many other races where there's been this many red flags, and I'm pretty sure this was like one of the only ones. I was like,
the last red flag was the stupidest red flag I've ever seen in my life.
I'm like,
in my life, one lap, you're taking a fucking piss.
I was like, no, this isn't
I
right.
didn't think they could do it for one last lap. Well, obviously
It didn't make any.
but like,
You know what? It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense.
Wait, can I just mention the fact that this race didn't make sense? Guess who was in the paddock this race?
I know. We were Massey. We knew.
You're joking.
Michael Massey was in the paddock.
He was visiting.
His
Oh,
influence.
please. I bet they were asking him his opinion. Oh, what do you think? Should we red flag this? Oh, yeah, go on, just red flag it.
Yeah, I think you should red flag this.
Red flag. Just
Oh
red flag the
my
whole
God.
thing. Michael was like, yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then let's not do that.
Yeah. Let's red flag it now. Yeah. Safety car. Nah. Red flag.
Oh no, I'm getting hot because the thing is, there was so many decision making. The decision making of this race, was so stupid. I couldn't even fathom what went on with that last red flag. Was beyond my common sense.
Yeah,
it was beyond me.
This is ridiculous, and this red flag was caused because of the two Alpine cars colliding into each other. So it was Pierre Gasly and Esteban
Here
Ocon.
we go, Esteban Ocon. For goodness sake.
I'm not gonna lie, I was actually mad at this because Pierre Gasly was in the points. He was up there, and I was like, he would have been my
Gasly was
star
about
boy.
to be my star boy
He
this
was
week.
gonna be my French croissant. I was like, baby boy.
I'm so sorry. Can we leave Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc for me?
No,
Thank you.
no,
Those are my.
Hold on a second.
Those are
You
my
don't even
croissants.
rate Charles. If anyone's on that, it's me.
No. I rate Charles.
No, she does
I
like
rate Charles.
You
If
have to
anyone's
give it
going to be on Charles, it's going to be me.
Shanice, we can share.
I'm sorry, but
don't know if I
this
can
baby
share
boy.
Charles. Are
Oh
you
my! I was like,
serious?
Pierre.
You can have Charles. You can have Charles.
I'm here for you to have anybody else do you want.
But
Okay, fine. Fine.
You can have
fine.
him. You can have him. But
Let me
Pierre,
not be greedy.
Pierre he was in the points. So this happened at such a mad point in the race where I was like, hold on, what's happening here? So they've collided and we've got another red flag, but we've only got like one lap left. Why not just finish the race? It was so mad. But oh my God, you know what we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about Carlos Sainz. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's talk about Carlos Sainz
Yes, Shanice.
and a 5-second penalty.
Let's talk about that. Carlos was actually in a really good position. Like he was
fourth.
He was in a good position at this point. So Shanice, tell us what happened to your boy Carlos Sainz.
Well, to be honest, I kind of don't even know.
Did
what
you see any
happened.
signs of this happening yourself?
Not really. I kind of didn't know what happened. Like, he went from being fourth to being like having no point.
It was actually really confusing what happened. And I'm not going to lie, when I heard Carlos Sainz come on that radio, and actually I wrote down what he said because it actually sweeted my soul.
All I remember is
Can I read it out, please? Please let me read it out, please.
all I remember is no.
I want to read it out. I wanna read it out.
I didn't want that. Literally, she just said it. She just said it.
No,
He's
go
like,
on.
no, it can't be. Wait to the end of the race and let's discuss it with me, please.
Wait. He said.
Are you going to
No,
do an
it can't
accent?
be.
Oh.
He said, no, it can't be. Wait till the end of the race and discuss with me. No, please. No. Oh my gosh.
Honestly,
That's how it went.
the
It was sad.
tears
It was sad.
in his voice, and I felt
the pain.
so bad.
I felt bad for
Do
you
know
and
what
all.
it was? It was a, please.
It was like, no, this cannot be. It can't
So
be.
I'm actually on Carlos's side.
Same.
I
Me
don't
too.
see how
Me
he
too.
could get a 5-second penalty in a lap that technically didn't really exist.
Yeah.
And the fact, Lance Stroll clipped out Charles in lap 1 and
Yeah.
didn't get anything.
Well,
Are you for
actually,
real? But
They
Alonso,
didn't even do a full lap because if you look, it says that Charles Leclerc was out at 0. He didn't actually.
that's
didn't
what I'm
actually
saying.
do
It
a
was
lap.
barely even lap 1.
It wasn't.
And I just feel like, Alonso's race wasn't impacted.
Well,
He
clearly.
was still on. No,
Come
it
on,
wasn't.
he
He
was
was still on
third.
podium.
Oh, wait. We'll come to that.
He was still on podium. It didn't affect his race. It's not like he crashed out. It's not like he ended up with no points. I think
Yeah.
it was totally unfair on Carlos to give him that 5-second penalty. And you could hear it in his voice that he thought the same.
Yeah, he was
I
sad.
feel like
And then he went from 4th to now dropping into no points. No points weekend for Ferrari. Sad.
Yeah. Oh, babe.
I honestly feel like the
Sad.
best solution would have been if they wanted to give him a 5-second penalty, then fine, you rejig the order of what it was where everyone crashed out then. You put the 2 Aston Martins last and give Carlos Sainz the penalty as well because it just didn't make any bloody sense. The lap did not exist. The lap did not happen.
Because no one had you hadn't even passed the turn. It was mad.
Yeah.
I was like, how didn't happen?
How is it even there?
Like, I'm telling you, Lord, I rebuke any spirit of Michael Massey in my life. Any spirit of confusion, I remove it from my life because what was that? What was Lord. That?
Not Michael Massey, the devil himself.
He is.
I don't even know why he's allowed back.
Obviously.
Wasn't he just visiting though?
He wasn't
like making any decisions, was he?
I don't care what you were doing. I don't care if you were visiting, if you were saying hi to your old colleagues.
It's the vibes. It's the vibes.
No.
It's the vibes.
You don't bring bad vibes in just like, oh hey, just to say hello.
There's bad people who have bad vibes who we don't cuss out, but
just you wait and see.
Give me a list and I'm gonna do it.
Just you wait and see, Shanice.
Give me a list, I'm gonna do it.
Just you wait and see.
But you know what? Obviously, it's not Michael Massey's fault, but it just writes the story itself. Like so many inconsistencies, so many disruptions, and
you guys have a vendetta against this guy because of Abu Dhabi.
Who doesn't?
Okay,
who doesn't? I'm sorry, but
okay, fair enough.
No, like who in this Formula One world, apart from Max Verstappen fans,
he wasn't making. Well, we don't know he was making the decisions.
What?
No, of course.
No. I mean, in this case,
of course he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't.
But guys, can I just quickly share this joke with you? Yeah, I've been holding this joke for like a week in me. So
I'm laughing already.
No, we have, right? You remember when I came to meet you on last week Saturday for the rugby?
Yeah.
So I got on the tube. Oh God, I don't even know what Victoria. I got on the Victoria line, and the tube driver. Sometimes you get tube drivers that are quite funny and like do little comical bits. So this tube driver was like, "Welcome aboard. You're on the Victoria line. This is a Ferrari, and I am the fastest on the track." This is the tube driver, by the way. Oh my! I'm not gonna lie. It was so funny.
I would have been scared because there would have been some sort of failure.
I was just like,
scared.
Fastest on the track. I'm like, have you not been watching? What's been happening?
Fam, you should have
I was holding this. I was like, when I see the girl,
the car isn't fast. There's just lots of problems that keep
I would have asked
occurring.
him, listen, what strategy you want?
Yeah, is it strategy A, B, C, D, E? Because I'm on the picky line.
Are there going to be any delays?
Delays?
Yeah.
Like,
well, luckily I got to you in good time. I was not delayed, but I was laughing. I was really, really laughing.
Should have stayed at home.
Who is your should have stayed at home?
Can I give you guys options again?
Okay, yeah. Go with your options. Let me see if they match up.
So I've got...
I'm scared. I'm scared.
I've got 13 options for you guys.
13?
Oh my God.
To be fair, yeah, it's about that.
I have got Valtteri Bottas.
Oh my God.
Carlos Sainz. Pierre Gasly.
No.
Esteban Ocon. Nick
rude.
De Vries. Logan Sargent. Kevin Magnussen.
Nah, man,
George
take Pierre
Russell.
out of that list.
I'm keeping him there, man. Alex Albon. Charles Leclerc. All in my list. That was what, about 10?
I'm going to go with Charles Leclerc only because the man didn't even do one turn. Well, sorry,
well,
he did two.
He was on turn 3. Let's get this right, man.
Sorry, I stand corrected.
I love how Shanice backs Charles.
No,
even though he was out before completing a lap. I know, it's embarrassing.
He literally he didn't do anything. He did qualifying. He did practice. And he literally, he literally sat in the car. He sat in the car.
He started the race.
Went back home.
He started the race. That's an achievement too.
No, that's not the aim of the game. The aim of the game ain't to start the race. The aim of the game. Formula One is like, oh, let's just start the race. No. Like, you need to get points. This is a point situation. Okay? He didn't do anything. I was like, babe, you actually should have just stayed at home. Because what was the point of you being here? He literally sat in the car to get back out the car.
I mean, to be fair, Ferrari got no points at all this weekend. So really, they all could have stayed at home. But I kind of feel it's not fair on Carlos to say that. Do you know what I mean?
It's sad for him. Who was yours?
I should have stayed at home. Yeah. Other than Charles Leclerc, because I think at the end of the day, it does have to be him. I was thinking Alex Albon, actually. I think he wasn't mine last week, was he? But I was cussing him out last race. But I do think that, like, we keep having these same conversations. Like, he is giving Latifi vibes, and it is like a constant problem or a constant crash or a constant hit. And it's just kind of, it's just making me think, like, I need to start seeing some better moves from you. You are in Formula One. This is the pinnacle of racing, of driving. And I don't think, like, you're demonstrating to me that you are one of the top 20 drivers in the world. Which is harsh because it was hard.
I need a moment.
But I mean, I was his number one fan. Like, you know, I rate him as a person.
Me too. I do
love him as a person, and I feel like he's even brilliant at giving interviews. Like, even giving interviews, he's massively improved from where he was.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's because he's been in the game so long now. So I'm expecting more. I'm expecting bigger things, and I'm just not getting it from him. But it cuts me up to talk like that about him, because I do, like, if I met him, I feel like I would have an amazing conversation with him, and I give him so much support as well. I'd be like, oh man, you got to keep going, love you, just keep going, man. But like,
I love you.
But it's just hard because I'm not seeing him demonstrate being that top driver, and I need to see it more in order for him to become my star boy, or even stop being my should have stayed at home.
Who's your sister over here?
It was always going to be Valtteri Bottas until he changes his attitude. I'm so sorry.
I guess until he changes his attitude.
It's Valtteri Bottas. I don't know what more to say. I don't know what more to suggest. It's Valtteri Bottas. That guy has not put in a shift for a very long time.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you know how bad he was? Even with Carlos Sainz getting a 5-second penalty,
didn't help
and
him.
Half the grid crashing out,
didn't help him.
He still fell out of the points.
Didn't help him.
Joe Granu is there. Does he have two heads? He is a young G in the game. Does he have two heads? They're in the same car. You have been in a championship winning car for the majority of your F1 career, and you were trailing behind all of these people.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me as to why Bottas has become so bad all of a sudden. And I don't want to sit here and blame just the car when Joe Granu is getting the best he can out of that car.
Is it a confidence thing? Is it like when you haven't won in so long, or when you're struggling with something like, do you lose your confidence a little bit?
Well, you would do, but he has been open about talking about his struggles with anxiety and how he prepares himself for like races and race weekends. And obviously I know that his anxiety was obviously a lot more heightened when he was at Mercedes, because look who your teammate is, look who you're trailing behind.
Wait. This happened? He said this?
Yeah.
When did he say that?
Anxiety.
When did he say that?
He's talked about it openly.
When?
Like, numerous times.
Do you know what? I take it back, Valtteri. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
No, because I can relate. I can actually relate. Oh my God.
Girl.
No.
We were making this up.
I was looking at you guys like, what?
But the thing is, a lot of the
I can
drivers
relate.
do
I'm
talk
sorry,
about
Valtteri.
kind of their struggles with this sort of thing. But it doesn't mean that they can't be, I should have stayed at home. I mean, at the end of the day, you are still in fucking Formula One. You still need to deliver.
But
you wouldn't pay somebody millions not to deliver.
Do you know what? He is still I should have stayed at home, but I didn't need to go too hard on him like that.
Oh, babe.
Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for
She's
him.
like, when did he say that? When did he say that?
Feeling bad, no, because like I struggle with anxiety as well, innit?
Yeah,
so I understand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
it's hard.
understand. It's hard.
It
Still should have stayed at home, but I get it. Like, it's hard.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like about the whole confidence thing. Like, it could be like when you start, when you're not winning, it can really knock your confidence. Even though you are in Formula One and you are one of the best drivers in the world, it can really knock your confidence, and you start to think, well, why do I deserve to be here? I actually find it hard to watch the drivers sometimes when they go through this.
No, because Val, as a person, I follow him on Instagram. I don't follow most of these drivers, but Valtteri is funny. Like, I follow him on Instagram. He's hilarious.
He's comical.
That's my bro, man. Sorry I did you like that, bro.
Points when you're following him on Instagram.
Hey, I'm following him on Instagram, man. He's so funny.
Shanice, who was your star boy then?
Oh, my star boy. Okay, don't cuss me out. But even though he didn't finish, technically, even though it was technically a DNF, I'm still going to go with Pierre Gasly.
Okay.
Because I think overall, he was always going to be my star boy. And then what you know, he didn't finish, but that was like the last lap. But, you know, come on, does that even count?
It's harsh. It's very harsh for them.
Yeah, I do think overall he had a really good race. And
superb driving from him.
Yeah, a really good race. He was about to get some points. And I just think that he was demonstrating to me in this particular race that he can handle this level of pressure. And he can handle all these stops and starts, and he's improving and maturing as a driver and doing well. And I think in, you know, being in Alpine, sometimes, you know, it's kind of like, is there issues with the car? Is there issues with the strategy? And I feel like he showed that he's kind of getting through those things and is an actual decent, good driver.
Yeah.
So he was my star boy.
And mine was obviously Sir Lewis Hamilton. That's my star boy.
For real? Okay, fine. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to bother.
I'm sorry.
Anything.
We have.
Should I sit in between y'all now?
Do you understand the issues that are going on at Mercedes? And Lewis got on a podium this weekend. I didn't foresee this happening. I was just like, I'm here for the ride. Let's just see what happens with the race. I wasn't expecting.
You didn't expect him to get podium? I expected him to get podium.
Really? I would.
Easily.
I wasn't I thought a Mercedes would be on podium, but I wasn't expecting Lewis to be up there. And he did the thing this weekend. I'm not going to lie. The drive was good. The overtake. I was like, Lewis, my baby boy is back. Listen, 10 years at Mercedes. Look at him doing his thing.
Do you know what I actually think, Anita, is part of the issue is that because of like Mercedes, I don't want to say downfall, but because of their, you know, issues they've had in this season and the last season, I think it's kind of like, I don't know if anyone expects Mercedes to get on a podium. Like, we want them to, but do we expect them to? And I think that's what's difficult. And that's why it was kind of like, I honestly these days don't know if George or Lewis is going to get on. I don't know. They're both brilliant drivers.
No, I thought George might, to be fair. But you know what? This was like a homecoming sort of race for Lewis. This is where he started with Mercedes in Australia. So it was a beautiful moment to see him on the podium 10 years later. 192 podiums. Who can say that? I don't know. And you know what? Speaking of podiums, this was a race where there was between Max, Alonso, and Lewis, there was 11 titles between them. Obviously, with Sir Lewis Hamilton
having more than half,
7, 8 titles. So I'm just.
Do you know what? I really thought that I didn't have a doubt in my mind that Lewis was going to get podium. I don't know why. I said it would be Max, Lewis, and Fernando. But I just thought, I don't know. Even when George was leading the race, I just thought there's going to be a point where Lewis's tyres are going to kick in. Max Verstappen's tyres are going to kick in. Fernando Alonso, the way he manages his car, the way he manages his tyres, he's going to kick in.
He's brilliant.
And with the way George started the race as well, George started so aggressive, which was great for him, don't get me wrong. But I saw a burnout coming. I'm like, it's either your tyres are going to get messed up.
You're not going to last. You're not going to last.
You're not going to last.
And that's exactly what ended up happening. And even when he was like, going through the pack, I was thinking, this is great you going through the pack, but this is where we're going to see the true strength of Mercedes engine. Is it good enough to do this? I'm not too sure. He was going so fast at one point, and I was just like, I didn't really have a doubt in my mind that Lewis was going to get that podium. I won't even lie to you.
Who was your star boy?
My star boy was Sergio Perez, Checo.
Really?
He started from 20th.
He did.
I think everyone forgot. He started at the back.
Yeah, but Bear Man crashed out.
No,
like,
he did. The overtakes were good from him, and he ended up 5th.
But there was hardly anyone to overtake.
What? Drivers on the track, my friend.
Do you know what? Before the crash, I think he was P7 or P6 already.
Okay,
so he already charged through the grid.
He did work his way up still.
He did really well.
Even the commentators were saying like, oh, maybe Perez should start at the back more often. And then someone was like, yeah, I'm sure he definitely wouldn't want that. But he did really work his way through, which I thought was good.
He worked his arse off. And I was so proud of him because I was thinking, you've got Max Verstappen who will come from the back and end up at podium because obviously it's Max Verstappen and everyone will open their nyash. But obviously Max Verstappen's a great driver as well. But also Checo, that's a lot of pressure to kind of try to live up to. So him getting to that 5th place, I thought it was pretty good. And if his mojo wasn't interrupted, he may have got to 4th. He may have got to Lance Stroll in time to nab the 4th place. But that's why I'm going with Checo.
Fair enough. I mean, he was mine last week, so I'm not going to, I'm all for it.
Come on, Checo. Let's
get
that championship, baby.
Oh, look Listen to you.
Hey, it's either
Don't let
Checo or
Red Bull
Max.
hear you say that.
It's Checo or Max. It's one of the
Red Bull will
two.
come for you.
You know,
Hey, listen, I don't mind. Red Bull, come for me, man.
before we wrap up though, I do want to give a
Simon.
shout out, to Oscar Piastri. Man came and got points at his home race.
Yeah, man.
After last week, we were saying, but we need to see something. We need to see something. So the fact that McLaren came to Australia and delivered that you got points. Lando Norris was 6th, Oscar Piastri 8th. Love that for them. You got points in your home race. I'm happy for him.
When's the last time the other guy got points?
Are you talking about Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah.
The other guy.
The other guy.
Hey.
You know how that is, and we knew who she was talking about.
There needs to be a bit of respect.
Hey, I needed to see if you were all on the same wavelength.
You know how we knew? That is so mad. The other guy, Daniel Ricciardo, just knew he was.
Hey, he was parading the paddock. He was
Listen,
parading.
I saw Daniel's back teeth this weekend.
Bro. And
was
do you know
like,
what?
wow.
Do you know what? This is why Ted is my favourite ever.
Oh, I love
pundit.
him. He's
Ted
so
was like,
good.
Ted goes to him, oh, you shouldn't really be on the grid. Yeah, I don't think you should be on the grid. It doesn't suit you. Daniel's like, I should be driving. And Ted's like, well, yeah, so get off the grid.
Yeah.
I was like,
Nah,
Ted is so blunt.
Ted this weekend was hilarious.
And then Ted was like, Michael Massey's here. I don't know why Michael Massey's here, but
I don't know
he's
why,
here.
but he's here.
So he was like, the former F1 race director.
So funny.
He got banned from the paddock. He's like, he's not too sure why Michael Massey's here if the other one got banned. Like, I was like, you're speaking the realness, Ted.
Nah, he
and
really
it got
does.
to a point, where during the race, David Crofty, he had to take the mic off of Ted. I said, but Michael Massey's a human being.
Yeah, I remember that. He was like, he's a person. He's a human. He has a heart.
You didn't hear from Ted till Ted's notebook.
Trust me. He's still a human being. Let's show some compassion. Compassion where? Did you show compassion in Abu Dhabi
It's
2021?
enough.
No.
Hold Simone back. Hold her back.
Did you?
We're going to go into it again.
Please, it's almost 10 p.m. Let's wrap up.
Nah, we didn't. But anyway, listen, a lot happened in this race. It was fantastic. Australia, you delivered, exceeded my expectations. So honestly, I really enjoyed this race. Girls, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, loved it. Lot of action, lot of drama. Can't fucking wait to watch next season of Drive to Survive.
Boy,
Oh.
it kept me awake, unlike last year's Australia race. Last year's Australia race, I was back to sleep very quickly. So
Just imagine, Drive to Survive and the radio calls and all of that. What is going on? I can't imagine the steward's office must have been absolutely busy.
I feel like I might be in tears along with half of the drivers. I'm going to see Joel upset and embarrassed. I'm going to see Carlos sad. I'm going to see Alex Albon again. Oh,
I can't wait for Carlos's interview where he just sits there and is like, yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah. Babes,
like that.
Carlos, gonna pray for you. But anyway, it's time to wave the checkered flag on this episode, guys. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. It is Wheelie Up F1 on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Anyway, bye.
bye. See ya.